Have you ever found yourself doing something you thought you shouldn't do, only to suddenly convince yourself that it's not that bad after all? Maybe you splurged on an expensive gadget you didn't need, and then spent the next hour listing all the reasons it was actually a brilliant, life-changing purchase. Or perhaps you skipped the gym, even though you promised yourself you'd go, and then decided that rest days are just as important for muscle growth. If any of this sounds familiar, you've experienced a powerful psychological phenomenon called cognitive dissonance. This is cognitive dissonance. It's that deep mental discomfort you feel when your beliefs, your values, and your actions are not in sync. It's the internal clash that happens when what you think and what you do are in direct conflict. For example, your belief might be that smoking is harmful and can lead to serious health issues, but your action is lighting up a cigarette. This conflict creates an uncomfortable tension in your mind, a state of psychological stress that your brain desperately wants to resolve, and it will go to great lengths to do so. Our brains are wired to seek consistency. They hate this feeling of internal contradiction. It's like having an annoying alarm bell ringing inside your head, signaling that something is off. To silence this alarm, you have two primary options. The first option is to change your behavior to align with your belief. In the smoking example, this would mean quitting smoking. This is often the harder path, as it requires willpower, discipline, and breaking established habits. The second, and often more common, option is to change your belief to justify your behavior. This is where our minds get incredibly creative. Instead of changing the action, we change the thought. We start to rationalize. We bend our beliefs to fit our behavior. So, you might tell yourself things like, "The science isn't totally conclusive," or "My grandfather smoked until he was 90 and he was fine." You might downplay the risks by saying, "I only smoke socially," or "I'll quit next year for sure." You might even add new beliefs, like "Smoking helps me manage stress, so it's actually good for my mental health." These are all mental gymnastics aimed at reducing the dissonance and making you feel better about your actions without actually changing them. This process isn't something you're always consciously aware of. It happens subtly, automatically, as your brain works behind the scenes to protect your sense of self and maintain internal harmony. It's a defense mechanism. Your brain prefers to feel consistent rather than rational. Let's look at another classic example, the fox and the grapes from Aesop's fables. A fox sees some delicious-looking grapes hanging high on a vine. He tries to reach them but fails. He jumps again and again, but they're just out of reach. Here's the dissonance. His belief is, "I am a clever fox who can get what he wants," and his action is, "I am failing to get these grapes." This creates discomfort. To resolve it, he doesn't admit defeat. Instead, he changes his perception of the grapes. He walks away scoffing. Those grapes were probably sour anyway. By devaluing the grapes, he eliminates the conflict. His new thought, "I don't want those sour grapes," is perfectly consistent with his inability to get them. This happens in our daily lives all the time. Think about a person who considers themselves environmentally conscious. They believe in reducing their carbon footprint, but they just bought a large gas-guzzling SUV. The dissonance is palpable. Their belief in environmentalism clashes with their purchase. To reduce this discomfort, they might start focusing on the SUV's safety features, convincing themselves it's the best choice for their family's security. They might tell themselves they'll offset the carbon footprint in other ways, like recycling more diligently, or they might even shift their beliefs slightly, deciding that individual actions don't really make a difference compared to large corporations. Cognitive dissonance also plays a huge role in our commitment to decisions. Have you ever noticed how, after you make a big, irreversible decision, you become its biggest advocate? This is known as post-decision justification. Let's say you were torn between two universities. The moment you accept the offer from University A, you'll likely start to focus on all of its positive attributes while downplaying the good things about University B. You might even start to notice flaws in University B that you hadn't seen before. Why? Because you've made a commitment. To reduce the dissonance of "what if I made the wrong choice?" your brain works over time to convince you that you absolutely made the right one. It reinforces your decision to create a feeling of consistency and satisfaction. This is the psychological engine of our excuses. It's the reason we can hold two contradictory ideas in our minds and still function. It's the voice that whispers justifications when we act against our better judgment. It explains why people stay in bad relationships, telling themselves it's not that bad or they'll change. It explains why we stick with jobs we dislike, focusing on the salary or the stability rather than the daily misery. Understanding cognitive dissonance is like getting a peek into the user manual for the human brain. It shows us that we are not always the rational creatures we like to think we are. We are rationalizing creatures. Our need for mental consistency can be even more powerful than our need for objective truth. So, how can we use this knowledge? The first step is awareness. By recognizing when you're feeling that telltale discomfort, that tension between a belief and an action, you can pause. You can ask yourself, am I changing my behavior, or am I just changing my story? Am I making a genuine choice, or am I just making an excuse? This self-awareness allows you to challenge your own rationalizations. When you hear yourself saying the grapes were probably sour anyway, you can stop and acknowledge that maybe you just couldn't reach them, and that's okay. When you catch yourself justifying an unhealthy habit, you can confront the dissonance head-on instead of building a comfortable narrative around it. This gives you the power to make more conscious, deliberate choices that are truly in line with your values, rather than letting your brain's automatic pilot smooth everything over. In essence, cognitive dissonance is a fundamental part of the human experience. It drives our justifications, shapes our memories, and solidifies our commitments. It is the silent, powerful force that ensures our internal world feels coherent, even when our external actions are full of contradictions. The next time you find yourself twisting your logic to make yourself feel better, remember, that's not just you being weak. That's your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's trying to resolve the dissonance. The real challenge and the opportunity for growth lies in choosing honesty over comfort. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this exploration of the mind interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology. Let me know in the comments about a time you caught yourself in the act of cognitive dissonance. See you in the next video.